Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. It's a real privilege to stand before you and talk about a phrase that has the power to shift our entire approach to life. Live full, die empty. When you hear these words, they may sound like a contradiction. How can someone live full and still die empty? Shouldn't living fully mean having everything and dying empty mean losing it all? Not quite. To live full means to wake up every day with a sense of purpose, with the determination to explore your potential, share your gifts, and give your best effort to everything that matters. And to die empty doesn't mean to be drained or broken. It means to leave this world with nothing important still locked inside you. No dreams still caged. No ideas unspoken. No love withheld. No contribution delayed. We all enter this life full of potential, full of creativity, full of courage, even if we don't know it yet. We are full of ideas, insights, passions, stories, talents, gifts that are unique to us. The tragedy is, many people leave this world with those gifts still buried deep inside. Books never written, songs never sung, apologies never made, businesses never launched, kindness never shown, wisdom never shared. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can choose a different path. To live full begins with intention. Nothing worth doing happens by accident. You must decide consciously that your life will mean something, that you won't just exist, but you will live, that you won't just go through the motions, but you will act, speak, create, and love on purpose. Ask yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? What do I want to be known for? You don't need to wait until you're old to think about your legacy. Your legacy is built in the small choices you make every day. Don't wait for the perfect moment. There is no such thing. Start where you are with what you have. Whether it's showing up for your family, creating art, leading a project at work, or simply being kind to strangers. Do it with intent. Pour yourself into it. We all have something valuable to offer. Some people are incredible storytellers. Others are brilliant at organizing, teaching, comforting, designing, solving problems, or building things. You don't have to be famous or rich to make an impact. The world doesn't need more celebrities. It needs more people who are alive on the inside. Your gifts were not given to you to keep locked in a box. They were given to be used to benefit others, to bring light, laughter, help, and hope. When you withhold your gifts, you are robbing the world of something only you can give. You might feel like what you have isn't enough. But greatness often grows from humble beginnings. Just use what you have right now, wherever you are. One act of courage can set a ripple in motion that living full also means facing the fears that keep you small. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of judgment. These fears whisper lies that say you're not ready, or you're not good enough, or someone else can do it better. But here's the truth. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. When fear tells you to hide your dreams, speak them louder. When fear says to hold back your love, give it freely. When fear suggests you wait for a sign, become the sign. Fear has a way of magnifying risk and minimizing reward. But the real risk is in doing nothing. The real danger lies in postponing your life until someday. Don't let fear write your story. Dying empty also means making peace with people and making moves in your own soul. Don't carry resentment, regret, or grudges. They weigh down your spirit and crowd your potential. Forgive where you can. Apologize where you should, and move on where you must. There is a healing in reconciliation. But even when reconciliation is impossible, release is. Don't let bitterness become part of your legacy. And beyond peace with others, make moves in your own life. If there's a dream inside you, start nurturing it. If there's a skill you've wanted to learn, start practicing. If there's a mission that pulls at your heart, start taking steps. The journey doesn't need to be fast, but it needs to Fear has a way of magnifying risk and minimizing reward. But the real risk is in doing nothing. The real danger lies, one day your time will come. No one escapes that truth, but you can escape regret. Not by being perfect, but by being present, by being brave, by being honest with yourself. Don't wait until your final days to realize what really mattered. Tell people you love them. Write the poem. Take the trip. Start the business. Mentor the younger generation. Give your time. Share your story. Laugh, heal, dance, build, teach, create, serve. Give yourself away. Every beautiful, flawed, powerful part of you until there's nothing left but peace. So I leave you with this challenge. Don't die with your music still inside you. Don't leave the masterpiece in your mind. Don't take your wisdom to the grave. Let your life speak loudly while you're here, so that when your time comes, you can say with certainty, I lived full. I gave it all. And now I die empty. Each one of us is born into this world carrying something unique, something the world has never seen before and will never see again in the exact same form. It might be a gift of creativity, a voice that can inspire, hands that can build, a mind that can solve, or a heart that can deeply understand. These gifts are not accidents. They are purposeful, entrusted to us for a reason, not just for our own success or satisfaction, but for the benefit of others. Yet too often, people die with those gifts still inside them. Not because they didn't care, but because they waited. They waited for permission, for the right moment, for a sign. They waited until they felt ready, until the fear went away, until someone told them it was okay to begin. But life doesn't operate on our schedule. It moves forward with or without our participation. And if we're not careful, the waiting becomes a habit. And one day we look back and realize we never truly offered the best of ourselves to the world. Think of all the untold stories, unwritten books, unpainted canvases, unstarted businesses, and unspoken words that lie buried in cemeteries. Think of the potential that was never shared, the comfort never given, the wisdom never passed on, the leadership never demonstrated. That's the real tragedy. Not just dying, but dying with our contributions still locked inside us. Your gift is not meant to be hidden or hoarded. It's meant to be poured out, shared, used. And the truth is, you don't have to be extraordinary to make an impact. You just have to be willing to speak when it's uncomfortable, willing to show up even when you're unsure, willing to try, fail, adjust, and try again. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs real ones. People who are willing to give what they have as they are right now. Sometimes people dismiss their own talents because they compare themselves to others. They think, why would anyone care about what I have to offer? But your gift doesn't have to be massive to be meaningful. Sometimes the smallest act can change the entire course of someone else's life. A few words of encouragement at the right moment, a quiet act of service, a creative idea that improves someone's day. You never know the ripple effect your gift might create, but nothing happens if you keep it inside. There will always be reasons to hesitate. Fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear that it's too late. But ask yourself this, what's worse? Failing or wondering forever what could have been? What's worse? Being misunderstood or never being heard at all? The most fulfilled people are not the ones who avoided mistakes, but the ones who refused to bury their calling. Living full means using what you have before it's too late. It means emptying your heart and mind of every good idea, every act of love, every piece of art, every ounce of wisdom. It means holding nothing back. Because the day will come when time runs out. And on that day, the question will not be how much you earned or how many likes you got. The question will be, did you use what you were given? You may not control how long you live, but you absolutely control how deeply you live. And one of the greatest measures of a life well lived is whether or not you die with your gift still inside you. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. It can paralyze dreams, silence voices, and keep people confined within the limits of comfort and familiarity. We've all felt it. The racing heart, the hesitation before speaking up, the doubts before taking a leap. Fear whispers questions like, what if I fail? What if they laugh? What if I'm not good enough? It convinces us to stay quiet, stay small, stay safe. And for a moment, it feels easier. It feels like we've avoided pain. But what we've really done is postponed purpose. Fear might be uncomfortable, but it's not permanent. It rises and falls. It comes and goes. What lasts much longer is the regret of not doing what we were meant to do. Regret is subtle at first. It doesn't scream. It lingers. It shows up when we see others doing what we dreamed of. It stirs when we look back and realize how much time we've lost waiting for the right conditions. It deepens with age as chances grow fewer and time grows shorter. The what ifs start multiplying, and suddenly we find ourselves haunted, not by what went wrong, but by what never happened at all. Fear can be faced. It can be challenged. When we act in spite of fear, something shifts. We discover that fear is not the wall we thought it was. It's a fog that clears the moment we step forward. But regret doesn't fade with time. It hardens. It becomes a weight we carry, a quiet sorrow that colors our days with thoughts of missed opportunities. People don't lie awake at night thinking about the risks they took that didn't work out. They lie awake thinking about the chances they never took. Living in fear often disguises itself as being cautious or realistic. We tell ourselves we're waiting for more preparation, more money, more clarity. But deep down, we know we're just scared. And if we let fear drive the decisions of our life, we will always be passengers in our own story. Courage doesn't mean we stop feeling afraid. It means we refuse to let fear be the final voice. It means we show up anyway, trembling, uncertain, but willing. Every time we avoid something out of fear, we shrink a little, not just in confidence, but in spirit. And every time we choose to face something hard, even imperfectly, we grow, we expand. We become the kind of person who refuses to settle for less than what we were made for. That kind of person builds a life worth remembering. The truth is, fear is part of any meaningful journey. It's the companion of growth. If you're afraid, it probably means you're standing at the edge of something important, something real, something that matters. And that's exactly the moment to move, not retreat. Because the people who live full are not fearless, they are faithful. They trust that what's inside them is stronger than what stands against them. Time does not pause for fear. Life will move on, whether or not we choose to move with it. The projects you don't start, the conversations you don't have, the goals you don't chase, they don't wait. The longer you delay, the heavier the regret becomes. And once certain seasons pass, you can't get them back. You can create new ones, yes, but you can't relive the old. Fear wants to protect you, but it often protects you from becoming who you're meant to be. Regret is the reminder that we were made for more. You don't have to be the most talented, the most confident, or the most prepared. You just have to be the most committed to not letting fear steal your future. Because once a moment passes, it's gone. You can either be proud that you showed up, or regret that you didn't. There's a myth many people believe that in order to begin something meaningful, they need to be fully ready, completely equipped, perfectly polished, and absolutely confident. They wait for the stars to align, for the ideal conditions, for the fear to disappear, and the clarity to arrive in full. But the truth is, that moment rarely comes. Growth doesn't wait for perfection. Progress doesn't require certainty. The most powerful things in life often begin in chaos, confusion, and uncertainty. That's why the key is simple but essential. Start messy, but start now. Too many dreams have died on the altar of waiting. Waiting to feel ready. Waiting to be better. Waiting to know exactly how it will all work out. But action is the only thing that creates momentum. Clarity comes through motion, not meditation. Confidence is built by doing, not just by thinking. The most successful people, the most impactful creators, the most fulfilled individuals, they didn't wait to become perfect. They began with what they had, where they were, and allowed the journey to refine them along the way. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't study movement for months before taking their first step. They wobble, they fall, they get back up again and again. And each time they rise, they improve. That's how life works. Starting messy means allowing yourself the grace to be a beginner. It means giving yourself permission to try, fail, adjust, and grow. It means understanding that excellence isn't a requirement for action. It's the result of consistent, courageous action over time. When you wait for the perfect plan, you miss the opportunity that lives in the present. Waiting becomes a trap disguised as wisdom. You tell yourself it's not procrastination, it's preparation, but often it's just fear wearing a mask. There's value in planning, yes, but no plan survives reality unchanged. The most important lessons are in the doing. The only way to find your rhythm is to start moving. Even if it's slow, even if it's small, even if it's messy. Perfectionism is not a virtue. It's a thief. It steals time, joy, and possibility. It tells you that your work isn't worthy until it's flawless, that your voice is invaluable until it's polished, that your idea is invalid until every detail is figured out. But the world doesn't need your perfection. It needs your authenticity, your effort, your truth, your messy, beautiful process of becoming. What people connect with is not how perfect you are, but how real you're willing to be. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life and history began with incomplete plans and imperfect steps. The artist who didn't know how the painting would turn out. The entrepreneur who launched without a flawless strategy. The writer who didn't have the ending figured out, but wrote the first page anyway. Their willingness to begin, despite the uncertainty, is what made all the difference. Action beats intention every single time. You can plan forever and still go nowhere. But one bold, imperfect step forward is more valuable than 1,000 cautious thoughts. Starting messy doesn't mean being careless. It means being courageous enough to begin without guarantees. It means accepting the discomfort of learning in public, of improving in motion, of evolving under pressure. That's where the real magic lives. There is no shame in a rough beginning. The only shame is in never beginning at all. Every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once a novice. The difference is they chose to start, not because they had it all figured out, but because they couldn't bear to stay where they were. They understood that hesitation keeps you stuck while action sets you free. Your life is not just a collection of years, routines, or responsibilities. It's a message. Everything you do, everything you say, the way you treat people, the risks you take or avoid, the values you live by, all of it speaks. Whether you realize it or not, your life is always telling a story. The question is, what story are you telling? And are you proud of the message it sends? Some people live quietly. not because they are humble, but because they are afraid. They shrink their voice, dim their light, and suppress their dreams out of fear of standing out or being misunderstood. But silence does not protect you from being forgotten. Playing small does not guarantee safety. It guarantees invisibility. You don't need to shout to be heard, but you must live in a way that is unmistakably you. A life lived honestly, boldly, and unapologetically speaks louder than any words. There are people right now who need to see someone like you, living with passion, pushing through struggle, and showing up with integrity. You don't have to be famous or flawless. You just have to be real. Real with your convictions, real with your effort, real with your presence. When people see authenticity, it awakens something in them. It gives them permission to stop pretending and start living with purpose. You may never know who is watching, listening, or drawing strength from your example. A younger sibling, a colleague, a stranger, even your own future self. The way you carry yourself today could be the encouragement someone needs tomorrow. The choice to keep going when it's tough, to do the right thing when it's not easy, to give your best when no one's clapping. That is how you write a message worth remembering. Living loud doesn't mean living recklessly. It means living deliberately. It means letting your values be visible, letting your love be known, letting your effort be undeniable. Too many people live on mute, keeping their best qualities hidden, waiting for the right time to show up fully. But every moment you spend muted is a moment the world misses out on who you truly are. The impact of your life will be measured not just by what you accomplished, but by what you accomplished, but by what you stood for, what you gave, and how bravely you lived your truth. You are the author of your legacy, not someday in the future, but right now. The choices you make today are the sentences being written into the story others will one day tell about you. You can write a message of resilience, of generosity, of courage, of kindness. You can choose to be someone who didn't just exist, but lived with intention. Someone who left people better than they found them. Someone who used what they had instead of waiting for more. There is power in being remembered, not just for what you did, but for who you were, for the way you made people feel, for the energy you carried into a room, for the light you brought into dark places. You don't have to do something dramatic to make an impact. Often, the loudest life is one lived consistently with heart and humility. Make your life say something worth hearing. Let it echo the values you believe in, the causes you care about, the love you give freely, and the dreams you're not afraid to chase. Live in such a way that even after you're gone, your message continues to speak, inspire, and uplift.